Now I welcome Itay Margalit, Community Shaliach at the Jewish.
Hey, thank you so much, Radir. I can testify personally that I grew up about the stories of Abba Hushi and the Druze people during those times back in Haifa. So thank you again, Radir. That was really amazing. Thank you so much for the introduction. I am very honored to speak in front of you all. When I was asked to share my thoughts about Yom HaZikaron and my reflections about it, as an Israeli, I was quite hesitant, to say the least. How can I put into words a custom I have grown up to since childhood? Will I be able to do justice to the many layers and rituals of Yom HaZikaron? I would try to explain it and paint a picture from my own eyes growing up in Israel. Once you wake up to Yom HaZikaron, there's a sense of a holy day, not in a religious matter or as a form of celebration, but as a heavy burn. Walking to your car, you know exactly what songs will be on the radio, the ones that talk about loss, grief, victims, and heroes. The streets are filled with kids, teenagers, adults, wearing a white shirt to honor the day with these "Remember" sticker on their chest. Everything stops at 11 a.m. sharp when a 2-minute siren sounds. Highways freeze, ceremonies are officially starting. During this day, Israeli channels only show Yom HaZikaron related content, and the cemeteries are full with families and friends who lost their loved ones. When I was younger, growing up in Haifa, the commemoration of terror attack victims for me always related to sports. In elementary school, I remember heading out with my school soccer team every year to play in a tournament in the memory of Orly Ophir. Orly was a young, talented soccer player. She was murdered at the age of 16 in an Arab restaurant in Haifa in a suicide bombing. In middle school, I remember the highlight of the year was winning the school championship in basketball and playing a game against Chilik's friends. Chilik's friends were a group of former classmates of Chilik Sharvit. Chilik Sharvit was an alum of the school that I went to, and he was murdered at the suicide bombing in Bet Lid. The game always included a ceremony with his family and was played in front of the whole school. In high school, I was asked to lead the ceremony of Yom HaZikaron in front of the whole school. Students, staff, alumni of the school who come with their uniform straight from the base, and the families of those who lost their lives and attended the school. I will never forget how terrified I was reading at the ceremony, since I knew I had to read the list of names of the ones who were killed. I remember the teacher who was conducting the ceremony telling me, "Itai, every year I'm approached by at least one family member crying because their loved one's name was read wrong out loud." This made it clear to me how important it was for those families, how grief is in every detail, and how meaningful it is for those families who lost their loved ones that we honor their memory. During every year of my Army service, unrelated to my work as a commander in the Air Traffic Control Course, I needed to stand next to a grave during Yom HaZikaron, whether the family and friends were there or not, so everyone would get the honor they deserve. After finishing my service, I was working as a coordinator of a pre-Army program called Barak. The program's goal was to prepare lone soldiers for their IDF service. My manager decided to name the program after his friend Hanan Barak, who was killed in his tank by Hamas terrorists. The Yom HaZikaron day and commemoration impacts you differently at every stage of life. This year is the first year I'm not going to be in Israel during Yom HaZikaron. Shlichim who are in their second or third year of shlichut tell me these are always the hardest days during their experience here, feeling connected to the commemoration while everything outside looks so normal. This is just one of the reasons why it was so important for me to commemorate Yom HaZikaron the best way I can, even if it's outside of Israel. Working with the Federation Young Leadership Division, we had the annual Ratzim LeZichram, running in their memory events in our community. This is a tradition that started in Israel and was brought to Cleveland by a former shlicha. This year we had grieving families from Israel send us their loved ones' stories, and each participant ran in the memory of a specific person. The families received the pictures of our community members with a bib on each shirt with their loved ones' names. I want to invite you to join us tomorrow as we're holding another Ratzim Lezichram just for the conference participants. We will be meeting outside the Hilton Hotel at 6:45 a.m. I know it's early, but if you feel like it, that's the place for another special opportunity to commemorate. Thank you everyone so much and for the honor to speaking here. I want to introduce the next speaker, Noah Farkash. He's the president and the CEO of the Jewish Federation of Greater Cleveland. Thank you again.